Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. I promised you a good Shanti sighting. She is just demonstrating your option for the evening. If you would like to just skip all of the yoga and just go straight to Shavasana, you can join Shanti. Although I don't know how practice is going to work for for me tonight. But I'm super glad that you're all here with us. There we go. It does look like it went live. Good. And I hope that your week is off to a good start. And if it's not, hopefully this is a nice reset for you this evening. I'm Mikki, if I've not practiced with you before. This is Shanti, if you've not practiced with her before. She got quite an extended walk today, so she's tuckered. She's like fully out. Oh, sorry. Okay. Tonight for our practice, if you have a yoga blanket available, you might grab it. And if you have, or it could just be like a couch blanket, a thin pillow perhaps. And then if you have a couple blocks, I'd go ahead and grab those. If you don't have those tools, then absolutely no worries whatsoever. The blanket we're going to start with beneath our head is a little pillow. Shanti is also demonstrating that nicely. And then the blanket will also become knee padding further into class as we come into some low lunges for those of you that have tender knees. All right, so that's where we're headed. As always, these practices, especially on Monday night. Hi, Debbie. Yay, glad you're here. These practices, especially on Monday night, are meant to really truly just be a nice reset to get you ready for whatever the week has in store for you after today. And so taking what you need along the way, knowing that everything is fully optional and just merely a suggestion, you know your body and your energy better than anyone. And so feeling really good about saying no to things and not feeling pressured at all in any way to do all of the things that I am suggesting. All right. We are getting started on our backs this evening. And if you're using the playlist, it's all the way up at the top of the chat. I'm realizing I didn't drop it into the description of class, and so I apologize for that. It's just kind of been that sort of a Monday for me, but it's all at the top of the chat. It's also, if you follow me on Spotify, dated today. It should be right at the top. Live streams 2.8 and 2.9. All right, if that helps you find it. So you can go ahead and push play on that if you're using music. And I'm going to work my way around you, but we're going to come on down to get started in banana pose this evening. So it's basically turning your body, maybe I'll go this other way. Turning your body into a big kind of arching half moon shape. So the back of your body is going to come flat down on the ground, but we're going to take your legs both over to the right. Arms going to come up overhead, and we're going to take both of your arms over to the right as well. Now, I know when we do this in an actual physical class where I can see you, a lot of people kind of start to roll over onto a side. I want you to try to keep your low back, your upper back, and your head flat on the ground. And it's just the placement of your limbs and bones that are arching to the right. Now, if you want a little more release for that outer left hip, that left ankle is going to come on top of the right ankle. Now, that blanket or pillow beneath your head might be useful if when you lay down flat on the ground, it feels like your chin is higher than your forehead. And I'm kind of exaggerating. For us, some of us, it's a little more subtle. But ideally, we would get the head to a place where the forehead is a little higher than the chin. So a blanket beneath your noggin might be helpful. I'm just going to let Shanti continue to use mine, though. And then let's all take a big, really full breath in here. And open the mouth, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Big full breath in. And open the mouth and let it go. And then let's begin to take that breath in and out through the nose if that feels comfortable this evening. And let's gather and settle your attention just around those left ribs on that left side of your waist. Now, without actually moving the body, I want you to start to feel as you exhale this next time, like you're slightly crunching that left waist, like you're kind of trying to pull yourself back to straight. But again, you're not going to move. I just want you to engage that left waist. And then as you inhale, let that release and soften. And you might reach out through that left hand just a tiny bit more. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. So as you exhale, it won't actually look like anything. Just feel a little gathering of that left waist, like a kind of a side crunch almost. And then inhale, get a little longer through that left arm, left hand. One more time, exhale. Little hug in, little gather in that left waist. It's almost like your left hip and your left ribs are drawing toward each other. And inhale, release and elongate. And let's just take one more regular breath here without any engagement and release. Just feel your breath in this space. And then we're just going to ease ourselves through center and banana to the other side. Be mindful of your fur children. Don't worry, Shanti, I'll just move around you. It's fine. So legs to the left, arms to the left, head to the left, until you feel that sort of opening of your right side body. Again, that right ankle could be on top of the left ankle if you'd like, but that is an option. You don't have to do that. And then let's take that big full inhale into the body. Open your mouth, let it go. Let's do that one more time, breathing in fully and letting it go fully. Transitioning to that breath in and out through your nose. And then as you exhale this next time, again, it's really subtle, not really movement. It's more of an action. I want you just to feel like you're gathering that whole right side of your waist as you exhale, knitting those ribs together. And then inhale, soften those actions and just feel like your right side of your body got a half inch, quarter inch longer. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, feel that engagement. And inhale, feel that release. One more time. And then without any engagement, just a full breath in and out here. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to center. I guess we haven't really been in center, so we're going to bring ourselves to center. And we're going to float your knees over your hips. We're going to take basically table on your back. So go ahead and bring them and give them a hug for a moment. And then we're going to float the knees over the hips, shins parallel to the ground, and we're going to bring your hands to press into the tops of your thighs. And I want you to start to create a little bit of a battle here. So legs are going to push into the hands are going to push into the legs. And then I want you to fill that gap of space between your low back and the floor with your low back. Belly button toward the ground. As you inhale, let the belly fill. Let the belly get soft enough that there's room for breath. And as you exhale, feel that hug of belly button towards spine. So just a couple breaths here, waking up your core, your low core especially, if you've been seated for a good chunk of the day. That core gets really lazy. This is why we slouch so much when we sit. So inhale to feel that suppleness. Exhale, drawing belly button to ground, attempting to fill that gap of space between the floor. Sorry, Musketeer changed my music already, and now he is playing with my mic pack. Just a pet night. Okay, 2 more here. Keep that battle between hands and legs. This is surprisingly challenging. So if you need to take a moment of release, just take a moment of release and come back in. Soften your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. And then we're going to keep the right leg and the right hand pressing into each other. Try to keep that steady. Release the left foot to tap the floor or your dog. And then bring it back up. Reconnect left hand, left leg. Find that steady engagement between the two, and right foot taps. Can you keep that gap of space between your low back and the floor steady? Bring it up, inhale. We're going to do 2 more on each side. So left leg lowers, exhale. Inhale, bring it up. Right leg. Inhale. 1 more on each side. And final one. And then as that right leg comes up, just take 1 more big inhale of that engagement. 1 more full exhale. And then pull those 2 legs in. Let those knees go a little wider than shoulder width. Releasing the front of the hips there. Maybe take a little rock side to side. Just kind of let that upper back soften. Let the neck and head soften. And then we're going to start to rock and roll up and down your spine. You're going to make your way up and over into table pose. You might roll over your shins to get there. You're going to have to move. All right, so we'll come into table pose. Wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Let's inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. Maybe she'll eventually get the clue or the hint. Exhale, round your spine into cat. All right, back and forth here. Belly down, inhale, cow. Spine rounds, exhale, cat. Couple more rounds at your own pacing there. Now, something interesting to explore as we go through this a couple times is, can you bring back to mind what we were just doing on our back with our hands on the thighs? And can you imagine that battle between hands and thighs is still existing? That low core is still feeling stable and engaged, but now you've added the freedom here to create this spinal flexion and extension, the spinal movement. Okay, 1 more round. And then the next time you inhale into cow, we're going to make sure your hands are where you want them for your downward facing dog. We're going to tuck your toes under, lift your knees, take your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Hips high, heels descending toward the ground. I'm so sad to do this. You look so happy. Come here. Oh, I don't know if you guys got that growl in the mic. She was not happy about that. Come on. I'll put you in bed. All right, so hanging out in your down dog, little petals, little wags of your tail, whatever feels nice there. Let that head hang nice and heavily between your arms. And then let's take your right leg, lift it up toward the sky. Let that right ankle roll around a couple times. And then flip the direction of that circle. So if you're going clockwise, go counterclockwise. And then we're going to bring that right foot all the way through between your hands. Take as many steps as you need to get there. And we're going to put that back knee down on the ground. Now, I have particularly tender knees, so you might grab your blanket or pillow or a hoodie or whatever you've got. You could also fold your mat over once. We're going to come on up into hi, into your low lunge. Stubborn. And we're going to take your hands onto that front thigh. As you exhale, we're going to push down into your thigh, hollow the belly, feel that full engagement. And then inhale, let your hips glide forward, let the pressure of your hands on your leg release, let your heart lift. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, press into that leg, feel that round. And then inhale, hips forward, belly soft, heart high. Last time, pressing. And lengthening. Now, as you let that heart lift and that space return, let the hands go on up to the sky. We're going to grab your left wrist with your right hand. We're going to pull up and over to the right. So into that side bend, just like you were doing on your back a moment ago. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. And just like you were doing on your back in banana pose, as you exhale, I want you to feel that left side of your waist sort of knit as though you're bringing yourself back upright, but just the action, not the movement. And then inhale, soften and lengthen into that side bend a little bit more. 2 more breaths. Feel the engagement. Inhale, feel the length. 1 more time. It's just like you're trying to shorten the space between those ribs on the left side. And then as you soften and release, creating more space. We'll come on up to center, release the grab on the wrist. Let your hands come down around your front foot. Lift that back knee. Just let the left heel press back for a moment. Feel that opening of the back of the knee, the length through the calf. And then we're going to take that right leg up and back to your downward facing dog. Again, let that head hang heavily. Maybe a little pedal of the feet or a wag of your tail. Just a moment in between. And then we'll take your left leg up toward the sky and start that same rotation of the ankle. It does not matter how high that left leg gets. Just let the ankle move. And then the other direction. And then that left foot's coming all the way forward between your hands. Bonus core work if you have to step over your dog. Right knee to the floor. Come on up, hands on your front thigh for that low lunge. As you exhale, we'll push into the hands, hollow the belly, feel that engagement, and then inhale, settle and soften into that space. 2 more. Press, hollow, feel that. Inhale, soften, lengthen, lift. Last one. Now as that heart lifts this time, let those 2 hands come up toward the sky. We'll grab your right wrist with your left hand. We'll pull into the side bend. So your torso is going leftward. And then just like we did on that first side, 3 breaths here. As you exhale, it's not a movement, it's an action. So feel like you're trying to shrink wrap those ribs on your right side towards one another. And then as you inhale, soften and then release into that extra space. Okay, 2 more. One more. And then we'll bring those hands back to center, releasing the wrist. Hands come down around your front foot. We'll tuck those back toes under if they're not already. Lift that back knee up off the floor. Pause there for a moment, just pushing back through that right heel, letting the back of the knee open. And then let's take it back one more time. into your downward facing dog. Head heavy, heels descending. You could be still here or a couple breaths of movement. Let the hands push the ground away, lengthening up the sides of your waist, through your shoulders, through your wrists, heels descending toward the ground. And then let's rise up towards your tippy toes. And we're going to start to walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. If you use that blanket as knee padding, you could move it out of the way. Now, as you get to the top of the mat, let's go ahead and let the feet settle hip width apart. Put a soft bend to your knees. Let your arms drape. Let your head drape. Just allow gravity to take everything along the spine, the head, the arms. Let's shake your head no a couple times. Nod your head yes a couple times. And then bend your knees a little bit more. And let's roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. At the top, we'll take your two hands up to the sky. Let the palms join together overhead and nice and slow. The entire length of your exhale, bring those hands down into your heart. Heart lifts to meet the thumbs. But we do that 2 more times. You can either go wide with your hands or forward. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale to reach. And hands to heart. We'll add on from there. So we'll begin again, hands reaching toward the ceiling. And then this time as those hands come down, let's fold with your hands. So bowing over those legs, let your head fall. We'll bring your fingers to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, let's fold back over your legs. And we're going to take your left leg back into your lunge. Back knee off the ground. We'll inhale, rise up into your crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands are coming right back down around your front foot. And we're going to step it back into downward facing dog. From your down dog, if you would like to stay, just let yourself stay and be still for a couple breaths. Or inhale, come forward to plank. Let's bring those knees down to the ground, at least for this first one. Heart shines forward, elbows point straight back as you lower, chaturanga. All the way down onto the belly. Untuck your toes and inhale, heart and head lift, baby cobra, very little weight in your hands. Active legs lengthening and reaching out from your pelvis. And then let your forehead come back down to the ground. Push into hands and knees. Come on up, table. And downward facing dog. Now from that downward facing dog, let's take your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Rising up with your in-breath, crescent lunge. And hands come down around your front foot as you exhale. Right foot steps to meet your left. Let's take that halfway lift, fingers slide up the shins. And exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. As you exhale, let's take your left hand down the left leg. Right arm's going to reach up and over. Let's stay for your inhale, get long. As you exhale, feel that same really deep action. Just see if you can draw those right ribs toward each other a little bit. And then inhale, lengthen, and maybe side bend a little deeper. We'll come back up to center. Let's do that same thing on the other side. So right hand down the right leg, left hand up and over. And linger here for an inhale. As you exhale, Encourage a little bit of that side body activation. And then inhale, soften that activation and elongate. We'll come back up to center, 2 hands to the sky, and exhale, fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in. As you fold, we'll step your right leg back. Same lunge, we'll rise up as you inhale, crescent lunge. Hands come down around that front foot as you exhale, and we step back, downward facing dog. Always the invitation to stay put. Your down dog doesn't have to move unless your dog is being difficult. Inhale, plank. If you would like the vinyasa, knees up or down. We'll exhale toward the belly. Inhale, cobra. Just a little bit of lift. Back toward the belly, forehead down. And we'll press up through table or plank and into downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll take your right leg to the sky as you breathe in. And step your right foot forward between your hands as you breathe out. Crescent lunge is your in-breath. Hands come down around your front foot as you exhale. And we're going to step that left foot forward next to your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. And then as you exhale, we're just going to take your arms forward parallel to the ground. Palms facing one another. We're going to try to keep your 2 hips facing the front of the mat square. So as we do this, we're going to try not to rotate a whole bunch around the waist, around the hips. So we're going to keep that right hand reaching forward. It might have your imaginary beverage of choice in it. And then we're going to pull that left arm back like a bow and arrow. As that left elbow goes back, I want you to pull your right hip, the opposite hip back in space, so you feel that low belly engage. And then left hand goes forward, and let's do that other side. Exhale, right elbow pulls back. Left hip resists back. And then inhale, hand forward. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Left hand pulls back, right hip resists back as you exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale, reach. 1 more each side. Right elbow. And reach. 2 hands to the sky. And exhale, let's fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, let's fold. We're going to make your way back to downward facing dog. So you could step back through plank, lower chaturanga, and take that cobra shape for your vinyasa. Or you could just crawl your way back into your downward facing dog. Let's take a couple steady, full breaths here. Notice where your mind and your brain are. And then we're going to take that right leg, lift it up toward the ceiling. Do what you need to do to exhale, step that right foot forward between your hands. So we'll come up to that crescent lunge shape again. As you come up, go ahead and take your hands skyward just to feel that length through the 2 sides of your waist. And then we're going to lean a little forward and bring your hands to your heart. Right, just like you're preparing to twist, but we're not going to go for the elbow latch tonight. So as you lean forward, around your waist, I want you to start to rotate. Left elbow down, right elbow up. Back to center is the inhale. And then right elbow down, left elbow up as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left elbow down. Resist up through that left thigh. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right elbow down. Back to center. So if you prefer not to balance tonight, you can stay with that for a couple more rounds of breath, or shift up onto that right foot, taking flight. Hands stay at heart. Left leg is as high as you're comfortable with. So maybe it's pretty low towards the ground, maybe it's parallel to the floor. Those of you flying, maybe try to stabilize and play with left elbow down, right elbow up. Inhale, back to center. Right elbow down, left elbow up. What? And back to center. If you're flying, bend that right knee, step it all the way back into your lunge. 2 hands up to the sky. And then we're going to drop that back heel. Open your hips and shoulders toward that long edge of your mat. Warrior 2. As you find that warrior 2 shape, let's inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. 2 more times. Straighten, reach, bend, and lower. Just steady and slow through the movement. No destination to rush off to. Words are hard tonight. Now, as you lower those arms this next time, let's take that right elbow to your right thigh. Left arm's going to go up to the sky. Turn the palm forward, and let's take that left arm and reach it toward the front of your space. Now, similar to what we've done a couple times tonight, I want you to bend that left elbow into your waist and actually feel all of those left ribs draw toward each other. Inhale, take that left arm forward and maybe even into a little bit of a rainbow shape. 2 more times. Exhale, bend, engage, knit. Inhale, release, and lengthen. Good. Bring it in. And lengthen. This time as you bend that elbow, let's come up with that arm. Take that left hand all the way down the back leg, right hand up and back, reverse warrior. And then we're going to take your 2 hands down around your front foot. And we're going to step forward into your chair pose. So let that back heel lift. Left foot meets your right foot. Bend your knees. And let's come up into your first chair. You're welcome. Of the evening, 33 minutes into class. You don't have that many of them tonight, but you do have a couple. All right, as you find that chair, arms forward, parallel to the ground, palms facing one another. You get to choose how deep you are in that chair, anywhere between a standing desk, a bar stool, a normal desk. You got the drill. Squatty potty's down there somewhere. Just like we did standing, I want you to try to keep those hips facing forward. As you exhale, left elbow bends back. Resist that right hip back in space, and then inhale, reach forward. Same thing, right arm, exhale, pull it back. Inhale, reach. Just get into your pattern here. So again, we're trying to minimize how much the body opens and turns. Can this really be from the waist up? One more each side. And then we'll take those 2 hands up toward the sky. Let your legs straighten. Palms pressed together, hands down into your heart. Let those eyes close or drop. Be here, right here, for a couple breaths. Can you feel that sense of drawing inward, of holding, of stabilizing yourself as you exhale? And that suppleness, that release, that creation of space as you breathe in. Whatever words you would use to describe that. Inhale, 2 hands up to the sky. Exhale, we'll fold any amount of bend to your knees. Oh, Okay. Yeah. Goodbye. Let's make your way back to downward facing dog. If you would like that vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, into your back bend. You might come up a little higher in your cobra now. And just easing yourself back, breath by breath, step by step, into your downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg lifts toward the sky. And left foot steps forward between your hands. We will come up into that crescent lunge. Take your two hands up to the sky. Feel that length up the sides of the waist. And then let's lean forward over that front thigh. Bring your hands to your heart. Around your waist. We'll start that rotation. Right elbow down, left elbow up. As you do this one, you'll need to resist right thigh toward the sky. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left elbow down, right elbow back. And back to center. 2 more times each direction. It's not a competition. It does not matter how much you rotate. I want you just to feel that ability to rotate around your axis and to use those core support muscles there to make that happen. Now, those of you that would prefer not to balance tonight, you are going to stay. If you are up for a balance, next time you come through center, let's come up onto that left foot. Let that right leg fly. You do not have to try the rotational work here, but you can if you'd like, right? Just a little something interesting to explore on one foot. You might not find that interesting at all. And then when you're ready, we'll bend that front knee, step it back into your lunge. Ground that back heel, open up. Warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach your hands up toward the sky. And exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. 2 more times. Straighten, reach, bend, and lower. 1 more time. So that front knee bends this time. Let that left elbow come to the left thigh, right hand up toward the sky. We'll turn that right palm to face forward, taking your right arm alongside the right ear, reaching forward. And then as you exhale, let's bend that right elbow into your waist. Feel those right ribs knit together. And then inhale, elongate. And it might even be a little bit of a rainbow there. 2 more times. Draw it inward. And lengthen outward. 1 more time. This time as you bend that elbow, let's bring it all the way up and back into your reverse warrior. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaching up and back. And then we'll take your 2 hands down around your front foot. Come onto the ball mound of the back foot. And we'll step forward. Coming up into your chair. Knees bend. Arms forward. You're in control of how deep those legs sit back into chair. Well, exhale, bend that left elbow back. And we're going to linger here for a couple breaths this round. So feel that right hip drawing back in space. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can open that left arm back, reaching out across your collarbones and your wings through those arms. And then just break it down. Elbow bends, bring it forward. Let's do that other side. Right elbow bends, left hip pulls back. Stay here or elongate back through that right hand. Bend the right elbow, bring it forward, 2 hands to the sky, let those legs straighten, and palms together and into the heart. Full complete breath in. Full complete breath out. One more moment here. And then let's keep your right foot near the front of your mat. Doesn't actually matter which one. We're going to step back with one of your feet so you're facing the side of the mat. You can face whichever direction you'd like. We're going to take toes out, heels in. Jamie, this is for you. Sit on down into your horse pose. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but don't judge the amount of Shanti fur that's on my black shirt. This was a mistake. Going to sit down so that your knees are pointing towards the middle of your feet. And then hands are either going to come inside the knees so that knees can push in and hands can push out. Or if it's available and doable in your body, you're going to slide down elbows on the insides of the knees. Elbows are going to push out, knees are going to resist in. So the legs and the arms are doing a bit of a battle here. We won't hold it super long. Tailbone heavy. Inner legs lengthening. If you're down with elbows on knees, just start to slide on up. We're all going to end up with hands on the tops of your thighs, thumbs on the inside, fingers on the outside, and then we're going to dip that left shoulder in towards center. Little rotation of your heart toward the right. I always want to naturally sway here for some reason, so maybe you sway. And then switch. Left or right elbow dips in, right shoulder dips in. Little rotation toward the left. And other side. One more time, switch. And back to center. Come out of that bend. Turn your feet to parallel. Hands on hips, heart high, elbows hug back. And let's fold over your two straight legs. Wide-legged, forward fold. Hands can come down to the ground when it feels nice. Let your head hang heavily. And if it feels good in your arms, you might grab opposite elbows. You might take your hands and crawl them forward so that it's sort of similar to down dog, but all of the weight is in your feet. Let your head hang. One more breath here. And then we'll walk your hands back under your shoulders, push the floor away. When the core and the legs feel strong, sneak your hands onto your hips, rise on up. And let's turn and step to the front of the mat. As you come to the front of the mat, let's set your feet about hip width, feet parallel. We're going to shift into that right foot. We're going to bring your left knee up, thigh parallel to the ground. Now let's start with that left hand pressing down into the thigh, just like we did when we were on our back getting started. Leg resisting up into the hand. Let's take your right hand and reach it forward. Now try to keep that left leg as active as it is. Let's reach your left hand forward as well. Stay here if you'd like. Or bend that left elbow, pull back, right hip resists back in space. Maybe that left arm reaches back. Final option for those of you that want the challenge tonight, maybe you kick that left leg out towards straight. And then rebend the knee. Bend your left elbow, sneak that left hand forward. And we're going to step your left leg all the way back into your lunge. Right elbow bends, pulls back. Stay here, or reach that right hand back behind you. Keep bending into that front knee, lunging into that front leg. Stay here, or right hand starts to reach down the back leg. Left hand up toward the sky. Wherever you're at, one more full breath. And then we'll take that left hand forward. Right hand parallel to the ground. Just like we came in, bend that right elbow, reach it forward. Let's sneak to chair. Inhale, hands to the sky, straighten those legs. And exhale, hands into heart. One full breath. Soften what needs to soften. Let's start to shift into that left leg. Right leg comes up, thigh parallel to the ground. Right hand on right thigh. Hand pushes down, leg resists into the hand. Left hand goes forward. So very systematically putting everything that we did tonight together, step by step. Just trying to stay present with each step of the sequence. So right leg stays active. Let's take that right hand forward, palms facing one another. You can stay here or bend that right elbow back. Left hip resists back in space. Or maybe that right hand reaches back. Final addition for challenge, if you want it, right leg could kick out to straight. And then we'll hit rewind. Knee bends, elbow bends, reach forward, and right leg steps all the way back. Left elbow bends. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you take that left arm, open it back. Maybe you reverse. Left hand down the back leg, right hand toward the sky. Savor the breath. There's just one more here. And then we'll come back up, arms parallel to the ground. Bend the elbow. The exit is just as important as the entrance. Hand forward. Lean a little forward, sneak to chair. Final chair of the night. Hands to the sky, seat back. And then inhale, straighten those legs. Take your feet, wiggle them out as wide as your hips may be wider, toes out, heels slightly in. And let's fold over your legs. Head heavy, arms heavy, spine heavy. Let's grab opposite arms and sway between those two legs a few times. Let everything be as easy, as soft as possible here. And then we're going to bend your knees and begin to sit down toward the ground. As you come on down to the floor, let's bring soles of the feet together, knees open. Let's hold on to your feet or your ankles or your shins. Sit up tall. We're just going to pause and be here for a moment. Feel free to close the eyes or drop the gaze. Just feel yourself once again seated upon and connected to the floor. Let the breath and the heart rate begin to even and steady out. Imagine that there is a block on top of your head that you are trying to balance there. Just use that to create that length up the spine, up the sides of the neck, all the way through the crown. And we're going to take your hands to those outer knees, push those knees together. And then we're going to swivel around onto your bellies. Legs are going to come out behind you, and we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So elbows are below your shoulders. Arms are parallel to one another. Legs are hip width and also parallel to one another. And then just make sure your elbows are truly below your shoulders. If they're too far back, you're going to feel stuck. If they're too far forward, you're going to feel like you can't get lift. Just find that happy place. Let's go ahead and close the eyes here. As you inhale, let the belly fill. And as you exhale, I want you to feel almost like you're trying to take a crunch if you were on your back. Just a little bit of belly button towards spine, a little bit of low ribs and pelvis drawing toward each other. Your stomach might hover off the ground. And then inhale, just soften, release, lengthen. Okay, so again, it's action, not movement. It's really subtle. Exhale, feel that subtle engagement, that kind of drawing inward, that holding of yourself. And then inhale, soften, lengthen. One more time. So our focus tonight was on stability muscles, stability trains on the body as opposed to movement muscles and trains. Let's do one more just for funsies. And then as you inhale this time, let those elbows go wide. Let the forehead or a cheek come to the ground and take just a little gentle shimmy, shimmy, shimmy of those hips. And before we get too comfortable, let's take your forehead back to the ground. So if your low back is feeling very tender today, then I would like you to either skip this next round or repeat the Sphinx pose that we just did. If your back is feeling well supported tonight, then your arms are going to start to reach back along your legs. Legs are going to get super active. And let's start to find locust pose, heart lifting, head lifting, arms reaching back. And then instead of just thinking about up with your legs, think back until they lift off of the floor. Now, whether you're in Sphinx or you're in Locust, we're going to take 3 more breaths here. And I want you just to play with that addition of support, that gentle activation as you exhale, like a crunch. And then that inhale to soften and lengthen. One more breath. And then other cheek or forehead to the ground. Come on down. We're just going to slide that left knee out to the side into half frog. So it's all about right angles, ankle, knee, hip, all in right angles. And just let it soften there. With that left leg out to the side, you might take your left cheek to the ground. And then let's slide that left leg back to straight. And that right leg, we'll do the same thing, sliding that right leg out to the side, ankle, knee, hip, all at about 90 degrees. And if you want to take a cheek to the ground on this side, it'd be the right one. One more breath here. And then slide that right leg back. We're going to turn over onto our backs. And if you don't care which end of the mat your head ends up on, you could just roll over. If you prefer, then you can roll over and rotate. And you might play with hi buddy. You might play with putting that blanket or pillow beneath your head just to explore. Do you have more ease and freedom in your neck when your head's lifted a little bit? And as you come down onto your back, let's start by bringing that right knee into your chest. Just give it a soft hug. Left leg can crawl out to straight or it can be bent. And then just nice and easy, let that right leg come on down to the ground and bring that left knee in. Hug on, support. Imagine that someone you love is just ever so gently putting their hands on your shoulders, encouraging those shoulders to drop with gravity. And then let's bring that right leg in as well. You've got both knees hugged in. Just let the thighs settle on your belly here for a moment. We're going to take your 2 feet up toward the sky for dead bug pose, aka fainting goat this evening. So let the legs stack over the hips. You can hold the back of the legs if you would like, or your arms can stack over the shoulders. Let the head be supported. Let the shoulders be heavy toward the ground. Let that low back be heavy. Using the weight of your arm bones, the weight of your leg bones to ground the pelvis and the back of the shoulder and the head. And then one limb at a time, we're going to lower yourself down into your Shavasana. It does not matter which order those limbs descend. Settling into that final shape of our practice this evening, which traditionally is done king size bed to yourself pose, corpse pose, but could be done seated or on your side or on your belly. Just find a place where you feel supported, you feel held. A space where you feel soft, open, and spacious. Invite yourself to breathe a little more deeply. Feeling the subtleties of those breaths again, that kind of provision of support within those exhales and the creation of space, suppleness with those inhales. As you feel ready to begin moving the body, just start really easy and small, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, maybe a little roll of the head side to side. And we're going to ease our way up to a comfortable seat gradually and slowly. Take your time. And as you find that seat, let your palms come together in front of your heart. Whispering within your breath silently to yourself, whatever it is that you need to hear tonight. Perhaps it's a mantra for the rest of the week. Perhaps it's just telling yourself that you're enough. And letting each breath be a reminder as you navigate this week of that whispering to yourself. Thank you all so much for practicing together this evening. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. I hope that you did not find my animals too distracting tonight. It was a lot tonight. But thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Jamie is teaching Wednesday at noon this week, and then Seville is teaching our Saturday morning class at 10 a.m. If you're looking for a little bit of a longer practice, I'm establishing a practice on second Sundays of each month that are 90 minutes, a little home practice retreat, if you will. So that is this Sunday at 9:30. I'd love to have you join us. All donations for tonight's class, all contributions that you make are going to Free Fridge Salem, and we'll be purchasing with any donations you make tonight for class. We'll be purchasing hygiene wipes for them and the neighbors that are using those dry pantries and the free fridges. So let me get back to you guys here. Thank you, Jamie, so much. Glad you're here with us. Pam, namaste. Thank you. Howard, thank you so much. Carissa, good to have you. Heidi, miss you. Glad you're here. Karen, I needed this tonight too, so thanks for being here with me. Thank you, Lori. I'm glad they weren't too distracting. Yay, Lauren. I honestly Lauren, not to put you on the spot, but I was thinking about you when I was playing this class and I didn't even know you'd be here. I was just thinking about there's people that I know love the shoulder work and you came to mind. So I'm glad that you were here. Thank you, Melanie. Thanks for being here with us. And Debbie, namaste. I hope you all have a really fabulous week. We'll see you soon. Next Monday night's class with Jamie is also a benefit for Free Fridge Salem. If you would like to come and join us again and contribute. And if you just want to buy hygiene wipes and take them to Ike Box in downtown Salem, you can also contribute that way. All right, I'm going to start to make my crawl toward the screen and turn this live stream off. I'll see you guys next time.